August 6th, 1930. A man steps into a yellow taxi on a Manhattan street. He waves goodbye. Then he ceases to exist. Judge Joseph Crater was one of the most powerful men in New York, a Supreme Court justice, a political insider, and he became the subject of the largest police investigation the city had ever mounted, without a single answer. Not a body, not a witness, not a credible confession. The courtroom he once commanded would never see him again. To understand why this disappearance shook America, you need to understand who Crater was. Born in Easton, Pennsylvania in 1889, he climbed New York's political ladder with ruthless efficiency. He was appointed to the New York Supreme Court by Governor Franklin D. Roosevelt himself in April of 1930, just 4 months before he vanished. He moved through Tammany Hall circles, the notoriously corrupt Democratic political machine that controlled the city. He dined with power brokers. He kept secrets. And in 1930, those secrets may have become very dangerous. Here is what we know. Crater had been vacationing with his wife, Stella, in Maine. On August 3rd, he suddenly returned to New York alone, telling her he needed to straighten out a few matters. Over the next 3 days, he was seen at his Fifth Avenue apartment and his courthouse chambers, where he removed files and documents. No one knows what those documents contained. On the evening of August 6th, he dined with friends at a restaurant on West 45th Street. At approximately 9:15, he walked out, hailed a taxi, and disappeared from the face of the earth. But here is the detail that haunts investigators to this day. Nobody reported him missing for 6 weeks. His wife assumed he was busy. His colleagues assumed he was still on vacation. By the time anyone raised an alarm, the trail was stone cold. When the NYPD finally launched its search, it became the most extensive missing persons case in American history at the time. Over 300 witnesses were interviewed. A grand jury was convened. His photograph was plastered in every police station in the country. Rewards were offered. Psychics volunteered. Nothing. Investigators discovered that Crater had cashed 2 large checks totaling $5,700, roughly $100,000 today, in the days before he vanished. They found that sensitive political files had been removed from his office, and they learned he had connections to showgirls and nightclub figures tied to organized crime. But every promising lead dissolved. So what happened to Judge Crater? The theories have multiplied for nearly a century. Some investigators believed he was murdered because he knew too much about Tammany Hall corruption, that he could have exposed judicial appointments being bought and sold. Others theorized he staged his own disappearance to escape mounting political scandal. A third theory suggested organized crime silenced him over financial dealings gone wrong. And in 2005, a woman's deathbed note claimed her husband and others had murdered Crater and buried him beneath the boardwalk at Coney Island. Police investigated. They found nothing conclusive. Every theory remains unproven. Every lead ends in shadow. The case of Judge Crater was officially declared dead, legally, not literally, in 1939. The file remained open with the NYPD until 1979. For decades, pulling a Crater became American slang for disappearing without a trace. What makes this case endure is not just the mystery. It is the architecture of silence surrounding it. A 6-week delay in reporting, missing documents, destroyed evidence, powerful people who refused to talk. Someone knew what happened to Joseph Crater, and whoever they were, they took that knowledge to their graves. Unless, of course, the answer is still buried somewhere, waiting. If political corruption could erase a judge, imagine what it did to people nobody was looking for. That story is next.